I was taken and put on the bus. They were laughing, mocking me and spitting on the bus. At that point I saw my father. I asked the supervisor to let me speak to him, but he replied, "No, it's not possible. Stay on the bus. You don't love the king. You will love your father?" I told her that I wished to tell him that I'm fine, but she refused. The moment I entered the police station, I was received by the captain. He slapped me and said, "You will have a warm reception." He remained silent after that. Later he told me to remove my scarf. I said no. He cried out saying, "You must take it off." I told him no. He pulled my hair, taking the scarf off, banged my head against the wall. Then he asked me if I went to the Pearl roundabout. I told him no. He asked me if I joined the marshes. I told him it was only once, and I didn't stay to the end of the march. The moment I entered the police station, I was received by the captain. He slapped me and said that you will have a warm reception. He remained silent after that. Later he told me to remove my scarf. I said no. He cried out saying, "You must take it off." I told him no. He pulled my hair, taking the scarf off, banged my head against the wall. Then he asked me if I went to the Pearl roundabout. I told him no. He asked me if I joined the marshes. I told him it was only once, and I didn't stay to the end of the march. He called in one of the girl students who was with us and asked her if she knew me. We were acquainted. After that he pulled a hose out and started beating us with it. He hit me on the head. I started bleeding. I fell down. He told the guards to keep me in the restroom. After that, a high-ranking officer saw me. He asked me, "What were you beaten by? By hand?" I was afraid, so I told him yes, by the hands. He replied, "It's not possible." I replied, "I was pushed to the wall." I then told him I was beaten up by the hose. He called the officer to come to see him after finishing investigations. Until that moment, we were still standing. After that, they handed us over to policewomen, who asked us for our names, personal phone numbers, addresses, and so on. After answering them, we were brought back to the same captain. He asked me where my father works. I told him my father had been terminated. He asked me about my uncle and so on. He slapped me a number of times. We were taken out by the policemen, who treated us badly, humiliating us, cursing, swearing, and spitting on us. They called us prostitutes. They told us, "We will do to you exactly what Hassan did to you inside the tents." We were told we will be taken to another police station. On the bus, again, the policewomen mocked at us, saying, "You will be taken for a ride, for a picnic, to the roundabout." We were then taken to another police station. We were kept standing. After that, they sat us against the wall, forcing us to curse and vilify Meshima, Sheikh Ali Salman, and other sheikhs. After that, they instructed us to sing the royal anthem. After singing the anthem, we were taken to another captain or lieutenant. Before that, we were taken to another room, where there was one girl and 3 or 4 others behind her. The one at the front is dressed in a funeral shroud and blindfolded by a green strap. They were beaten up and we heard them screaming. We were told that our turn will come. We were not taken there. After that, we were taken before a woman officer. She asked us why we were there. She asked me, "Do you remember me?" I said no. She slapped me so hard that I fell on the ground. She kept on beating us, myself and another girl. She kept beating us for a long time. She started beating us by her hand. After that, she hit the other girl with a sharp metal rod. She poked her with it. We asked for water, but we were denied it. After that, 2 men entered. One of them instructed us to sing the royal anthem. Too tired from the beating, we failed to remember the anthem word by word. So he hit us on the head using his high headband. The 2 men kept swearing at us, instructing us to chant, "Long live the king," and we did. They cursed us and forced us to say Amen. They took us outside the room, instructed us to stand facing the wall, not to turn left or right. We asked for the toilet. We were denied it. After that, another officer, seems to be a high rank in the police. He told them to provide us with water and see to our needs. Then we were allowed to use the toilet. It was about 11:30 at night. They brought food to us, chicken and lentil. They instructed us to take the lentil without a spoon, and the chicken with the bones. He stood behind us holding a hose, beating those who refused to eat. We were kept in this room for some time. After that, some young men were brought in to the opposite wall. One of them was brought near us. He was too exhausted and bleeding heavily, his eyes almost closed. Out of worry, we passed on some water to him. After that, we were taken away. We were told that we would be fingerprinted, and we were taken down and fingerprinted. The boy was beaten up repeatedly by any officer coming into the room. During fingerprinting, we were beaten on the hand every time we stretched a finger. We were photographed, carrying boards displaying the name, ID number, and the charge. We were not photographed in the school uniform. We were forced to wear abaya. All the way we were humiliated, sworn at, vilified, and spat on in an inhuman manner. After that, we were taken to the detention center. We were blindfolded. It was not far, and we heard the policewomen saying, "The journey is short. We don't have enough time to beat them up. It is our last chance." So they kept hitting and beating us inside the vehicle. We got out of the car, and the policewomen instructed us to call our families and inform them that we are well and fine. They threatened us that if we said anything about being beaten. It was almost 1:30 after midnight. We called our families and told them that we are fine. The following day, we were told we are taken to the military court. We were first told that we will stand before the public prosecution, and it was 7 a.m. in the morning. We were not taken to the prosecutor's office, so we were informed that we will stand before the military court. We were put on the bus, informed that we would be passed on to the Saudi army. We were too afraid, unaware of what we were going to face. We were taken to an open space, full of security personnel. There was also a tent there. One of the policewomen spoke to the captain, who instructed her to take us back to the police station, and they will come to take us from there. We went back and kept waiting to see what would come to our fate. After that, we were told there was a mistake. We were detained during the whole day. The following day, we were taken back to the police station for more interrogations. During the investigations, we were badly insulted, humiliated, vilified. They adopted every offensive way with us. After that, we were released. We were not aware what would come to us, what we would face next. We, the girls, were very frightened for our lives and our futures too. We were also under duress, especially that we were beaten up by men. If we were beaten up by women, it would have been easier. Needless to say, we were touched by strange men, stripping our scarves. On one occasion, we were pushed into a sealed room, and lights were switched off. We were too frightened, unaware of what would come to us. We thank God nothing happened, but we were overwhelmed by fear and fright. We were psychologically tormented. He hit and banged me against the wall to scream. Since we did not cry out or scream, we were beaten more and more, stronger and stronger. The beating was severe, but being afraid of what would come next, we were senseless to the pain. Now we can feel the physical pain. My head is in deep pain. I still feel dizziness. I'm very afraid, especially that they threatened us if anything happens next, we will be rearrested. Meanwhile, we don't know if we can resume our study or are already expelled from the school. Some said to us we're suspended. Others said we're finally and permanently dismissed. We do not know where we are standing or what would come to our future.